Hey YouTube, hey, very good news. Got more update here for Kings Island coming up. First I'm going to show you something real quick. I want to see if you recognize who is on that picture. Actually, let's just take it down. I'll take it in here where you can see it. Moving around here at my house. And I just want to see if maybe you might be curious. Oh, first of all, Kings Island. Okay, we're excited, ain't we? Yep, I told y'all it was coming, and we're finally getting it. Sorry for the shakiness here. I want to show you something here. You can recognize the Brady Bunch. That was taken to Kings Island August 31st, 2008, and I got all their signatures there. Of the three of the Brady kids there I met there. And it's been quite a few years ago, but when they filmed the Brady Bunch episode, I was at Kings Island that day when they filmed, and I am in the Cincinnati Kids episode of the Brady Bunch. Me and my father's in there. We was there that day when they was filming, and we had a great time, and that was back whenever I was 5 years old. So, yeah, I was in there with the big old fantastic Brady Bunch. And I was going to share something with you real quick. Son of Beast. Son of Beast. Boy, ain't that something. I love that coaster, man. There I am right there in a red shirt, my sister and my cousin up in the front. And I'm telling you what, that was a great experience. And too bad it's gone, but Son of Beast is no longer there. But we're going to have something major coming next year, I think, that's going to make everybody happy. Like I've told you a while back, I knew the Giga coaster was coming, and it is coming. We found out here in the last couple of days that Cedar Fair trademarked the names, either Orion. Well, they trademarked Orion, and they also trademarked Polaris, or Polaris. You can call it either way. I call it either way. Polaris is probably the right name, which also means outer limits, you know, space, out in space. And where else are they going to put it? Near the outer limits. Remember the outer limits roller coaster, X-Base? That's like the woo UFO area. Okay, so there you go. One of those names are going to be the new roller coaster, and I do believe it's going to be Polaris, just because I think that is more name probably for maybe, I don't know. I don't know if it had anything to do with Columbus, Ohio. There is a shopping center up there called Polaris Shopping Center, plus there's Polaris Music Center up in Columbus. Of course, I don't think it has anything to do with it, but Polaris is like 323 light years away, so 323 might be something to do with maybe the height of the track, possibly. I still think it's going to be taller. I'm still calling for a 350-foot coaster, 340 at least. Maybe it might be 323 feet tall, maybe a drop of 340 or 350, maybe down into a tunnel. I do believe that it's going to be a tunnel, and I do believe it's going to go underground. So if that does like the Beast did, per se, that would give it, its drop would give it to the 350 or 340 mark, and could put it close to a 100-mile-an-hour coaster. I begged somebody to go down to check the B&M plant, which they did the other day. Midway Mayhem, they went down there, checked it out, and got some good footage. And yes, that is Giga track that is down there, and I'm telling you, that's Kings Island's track, and it's coming, baby, it's coming. So we got something great to look forward to. It's coming right around the corner. And I told you all back about 3 years ago that it was going to come. I've got some inside information, because years ago I worked at Kings Island, and I always worked there for many seasons back in the 80s. I got a lot of friends that still work over there, so I do have a little bit of inside information. There's an award that I received, I don't know if you see it too well, for service excellence, and that was at Kings Island many years ago from the resale division, and it was given to me, and I was a devoted employee over there. And one of my original Kings Island badges, kind of, I don't remember if you remember the Apple Awards. I kind of got all my little Apple stickers stuck over top of my name. But I did work at Rivertown Potato Works, and that was my original Kings Island name badge. And underneath there, it's got my name, I don't know if you see a little bit. James, it's underneath there. It says food service. And like I said, I work Potato Works. And it took a lot to get these little, oh shoot, I guess the glue's wearing out on that, to get those little Apple awards, okay? And if you notice, I've got a green, 2 silvers, a red, and a gold. The gold being the most that you can get. You can't get no higher than a gold. The next level down was a silver, and then a red, then a green. Well, I got a gold and 2 silvers, a red and a green, so I accumulated that over the Apple program, and we was entered in a drawings to win money, a brand new car at the end of the season, and yada, yada, yada. Okay, and then here's my last name badge I had, and I only stuck 1 green apple on this, and this was given to me for service excellence, which gave me that in 1989. That was given to me on the 13th of July of 1989, and I got a gold name badge. And at that point, I went by Jim instead of James, my nickname. And they gave me that gold name badge to wear for that year. And I love this because it's got the original calligraphy on there, Kings Island name, and I love it. But anyway, I really enjoyed working at Kings Island. I had fun. I had a great time working there. I worked there for 7 years, 7 different seasons. I worked 11 months out of the year. I did cleanup crew at the beginning of the year, so I worked from February all the way through the end of December. And we did Winterfest and all that back in the 80s. And here's another little thing here. We used to have these things that they gave us. Oh, here's another award. That's a service award, another service award presented to me for Kings Island. And anyway, we had a, I'm going to try to get through this quickly because there's a lot of things here. I don't see my Tower Topics. There was newsletters that they had for the employees. I don't see my Tower Topics one. But they used to have like Tower Topics, and then they had one that back in 87, March of 87, Vortex Times. If you remember, I told you that I was one of the very first train with human riders on Vortex. Well, this is the first Vortex newsletter that came out, and same as one debut for April 11th. And this is a Kings Island newsletter, employee newsletter. And it talks about Vortex in there and different things and other things. Now, here's the next issue for April, and I'm on this roller coaster here, okay? This is on the very first train that was tested and ready to run, and I am right there with my hand up, right there. And that's on the very first train. As you can see, right side up will be that way because you see the racer in the background there. So that was taken in the Boomerang roller coaster. But that was on the very first roller coaster with all employees. These are all employees, and this picture was taken in the middle of March. It was cold. We got our, you see Holly here. She's got her mittens on, so it was really cold. It was a little bit of snow flurries that day. Very cold. It was like 35 degrees. It was really chilly. But we did get to ride it. And we rode quite a few times, and I'll tell you what a ball. We had a great time. And right there, I'm in the third car front seat. The front train had the camera equipment on it, so nobody was in the actual front car. So that's the reason for that. So anyway, I was going to say I was going to share this in a future video. I thought I'd share it real quick. So then there was another time that there was an accident on Vortex when Paramount first took the park over. They didn't tighten the wheels on the Vortex, and guess what? I was in one of the train that had the wheels that actually came off. The train partially derailed partway through the ride. We didn't think it was going to make it back. I was scared shitless. But we made it back to the station. Well, we didn't make it all the way in the station. We got hung up in the brakes on the outside of the station before you go in the station. We just hung up out there. And next thing I know, the kid came out and says, oh my God, the wheels are turned sideways and da-da-da-da. So part of the wheel carcass came off, and we had a major problem. But anyway, that's what made it a newspaper. Part falls off Vortex at Kings Island. And this really happened. This was in the Cincinnati Enquirer on Sunday, April 11th of 1993. Sunday, April 11th of 1993. And this is on, that was the part there. There's not a picture for that, but It talks about part falls off vortex at Kings Island. Of course, they made it out to be nothing, which really it wasn't much, but still it did happen, and so shit happens, right? I know it was a mistake, it was an accident, something that wasn't, really happening. At least our lives wasn't really in danger. The safety mechanism kicked in, and thank you to Kings Island Maintenance that you did make sure that the secondary system was up and ready to go to where nothing serious happened. So no loss of life or major injuries. We just got scraped a little bit, bumps and bruises, and a bunch of orange paint peeled off the track, and we had orange paint peelings all over us. So a little rough. Another thing Tess will share with you, I do play in some as an extra in some movies that's made around our area, and one of the big movies I made was Funhouse Massacre. If you ever watch that movie, I play the Hawaiian guy in that movie. It's really a pretty good movie. Robert Englund, who plays Freddy Krueger, he's the star of this movie. He's a great guy. I love working with him. It's filmed here in Middletown, Ohio. It was filmed in March and April of 2015. It came out in movie theaters later the same year in November of 2015. And it came out on DVD back in June 7th of 2016. So that was a movie I was in, and I was also in another movie filmed at Cedar Point. This movie is called Edge of 17. It is an LGBT movie. I did get a part in that. That was filmed at Cedar Point. And another movie filmed in Lebanon, Ohio, Milk Money. I was in that movie as an extra. And also this movie here, Adventureland, and that was filmed at Kennywood in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Just thought I'd share that a little bit with you. Had fun doing those movies. I tell you, it was a great time. And Milk Money, they showed the premiere at Kings Island. I still got my premiere ticket, and it was only valid to the people who was in the movie. So, but anyway, that was my receipt for the Milk Money premiere, and that was on Thursday, August 25th. And this was only for people who could get these tickets. So, and it was people who was in the movie. So, but anyway, that was the valid dates there on the Kings Island ticket, actually, Milk Money, due date on that date only. And that was just because of that one movie premiere of Milk Money, because Paramount Pictures owned the park at the time, and Milk Money is a Paramount Pictures movie release. I don't know if you can tell, but anyway, Paramount, well, you can see it on the very top. It says Paramount very top up there, very top. So anyway, yeah. And also was in another movie back in 1988 called Fresh Horses with Molly Ringwald and Andrew McCarthy. I don't know what I know of that movie. I've misplaced it somewhere. That movie was filmed at Kings Island also during Winterfest. I am in that movie on a roller skate, or not roller skate, but the ice skating rink. And I'm in the background behind Andrew McCarthy and Molly Ringwald. And they needed some extras that day, so I said, hey, why not? Made a fast $50, go out and ice skate for a couple hours. Why not? So have fun doing that. I really enjoy my life. I've done a lot. I've accomplished a lot in my lifetime, and I hope you guys get to accomplish the same. And I'll tell you what, you only get to live once, and go for it, man. Go for your dreams. Go for your whatever you like to do, go for it, okay? And in this case, the new Giga coaster coming to Kings Island, go for it, man. Go for it. It's coming. 2019, baby. Excuse me, 2020. This is 2019. 2020. And one of my previous videos, if you go back and some of my older videos, the one that's got where it was rode in the snow, and somebody says, oh, that's just Kings Island employees messing around, da 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 da. Well, yeah, it is. Kings Island employees messing around, and yes, it is true. And I told you all back then it was true, because I know it was true. And I'm glad it's coming. And Cedar Fair, if you're watching this, which I know you probably are, thank you so much. I mean, really, you guys, I'll tell you, Paramount really put the park down. I mean, they just took a lot of attractions out. They just didn't go with the gusto. Son of Beast was a flop. They didn't build it correctly. I mean, if it was built correctly, I mean, Son of Beast been one hell of a coaster. And it just wasn't built correctly, No matter what Cedar Fair could have done, they couldn't have corrected that ride. Maybe if they did RMC it, maybe, possibly, but even then, the lumber wasn't right. The design wasn't right, and even with an RMC, it probably would have failed again. So the best thing for it to do was for it to meet its demise. I hate to say that. Like I said, I've got a Son of Beast plaque, so I really enjoyed that ride. I rode it with the loop. I rode it without the loop. So it was rough with the loop, and it was rough without the loop. So it didn't matter. I rode it with the original trains. I rode it with the new PTC trains. So it didn't really matter. The ride just wasn't meant to be, okay? We had a windstorm that year. Part of the Son of Beast blew down a little bit, and they had to rebuild part of the track. Lightning struck it before they was going to open it, and that delayed it even further because lightning fried the whole electrical system on it. So, I mean, that ride was doomed. It just was doomed. With it being built over top of the wild animal safari habitat, did that have something to do with it? I don't know. Who knows? But we got a great coaster there now, Banshee. That's a great world-class coaster. Diamondback is a great world-class coaster. And now we're going to get another world-class coaster. Firehawk, it was an old Tacoma. I mean, it just wasn't, it wasn't a reliable coaster. And unfortunately, it was time for it to go. Okay, it wasn't a very excellent attraction. Yeah, I mean, I know it has some haters out there, but you know, stop and think about it. You know, Kings Island needs something that's reliable. They need something that's going to last for years. And you know, B&M's got quality. They are built behind quality. And B&M coaster is going to last. Look at Diamondback. It's a hell of a coaster still. And look at Beast. The Beast. It was built 40 years ago, and it's still going strong. And I rode it way back then, and I even ride it even nowadays. You can ride it nowadays, and it's the same thing. I mean, it's awesome. It's just one hell of a roller coaster. And that's what Kings Island needs. They need a coaster that's going to last. The original Bat roller coaster. I rode it quite a few times. Awesome. One hell of a coaster. That was the best coaster that, oh my God, I love that roller coaster. Problem was, it had so many thumps and everything. If you watch some of the videos on here, on YouTube, you can see how you can hear it crack and crank and this and that. And it wasn't reliable. It was a prototype. It couldn't meet its demand. It constantly broke down. It would be up for 15 minutes and break down again. Then it would be up for maybe half hour and break down again. You can't have a roller coaster like that in an amusement park like Kings Island. It cannot last. And that being said, unfortunately, they tore it out. Nobody got hurt on that ride. Nobody got injured. Nobody got killed. It didn't derail, didn't do, none of that. It was just the mechanical issues of it was wrong. It was bad. It was a bad design. Like I said, it was a prototype. First of its kind in the world. So, it was a first. And aerodynamics, it was a flop. So, what Kings Island did, they got a real good deal. Aero gave them Vortex. And Vortex was given to Kings Island at a really good price. Okay, I don't know what the price tag was on Vortex 100%, but they got a pretty good discount on it since the bat had to be removed. So aerodynamics took care of Kings Island. They didn't want to have a bad rap, so they took care of Kings Island and gave them a good price on Vortex, and Vortex is still going strong today. It's still pretty rough now, but it's an Aero, so you got to figure Aero. But this new B&M coaster is going to be a hell of a coaster. It's coming, and I can't wait. And I do believe that the name of it's going to be Polaris, just because of the 323 light years away. So you figure 323, that's the threshold for Giga. So I would say that might have something to do with it. But then again, you never know. It could be called Orion. But stop and think about it. Both of those names are space-themed names. And remember, Outer Limits and X-Base, that was the Outer Limits in that area. So that's what it's going to be, fellas and ladies. It's coming, and it's going to be there next year, and I can't wait to be over there to watch it run. I can't wait. I cannot wait. I'm sure they'll start building it here real soon. I would say probably within the next month we're going to see footers go in. With B&M track plant being just right down the road, they don't have very far to ship it. So A lot of you people saying, "Oh man, I'm starting to wonder. It's getting a little. It's in the season now. It's May." Don't forget now, this is Ohio, southern Ohio. We don't get a whole lot of snow usually down in this area. So it's not like Cedar Point or Canada's Wonderland. So, and it's not Carowinds way down in North Carolina and South Carolina. So they ain't got far to travel with it. So it won't take long for them to put that Giga up. Okay? It could go up in a hurry. So trust me, it's got plenty of time to build a Giga. Even if they don't start on it until July, they can still get it up in time for next year. But however, this being middle of May, I would say around June 1st, we're going to start seeing footers go in like crazy. You're going to start seeing a lot of work going on, and I think track will start arriving at Kings Island. I would say probably in about 3 weeks from now, we'll start seeing track arrive at Kings Island. Hopefully they won't turn the cameras off on us, and hopefully they won't close the tower down for some stupid maintenance reason or something. Hopefully they'll let us still go, or even close drop tower or wind seeker or some stupid stuff. Surely they can't do that. Sure, they ain't going to disappoint us that much. But I would say coaster stock is coming up here soon. I think something's going to be given out then. I think hints are going to start dropping. And I think Kings Island's probably going to go ahead and probably spill the beans. And just think, if Kings Island go ahead and spill the beans now, people's going to be excited. They're going to sell more season passes this year and get their attendance up. And next year, their attendance is going to go through the roof. A lot of people says Kings Island's got flat attendance. I say no. From working at Kings Island back in the 80s, it used to be a lot busier than what it is today, in today's standards. And I think that the attendance will rise. And also another reason why is because Ohio is going to be the destination. Hey, you go to Cedar Point for a couple of days and go down south to Kings Island a couple of days. So people are going to make a family adventure, and they're going to go spend a whole week at both Cedar Point and Kings Island both. I mean, why not? They can make a family trip out of it for a whole week and stay in Ohio and experience the best coasters in the planet. Okay? You can't do that, go to California. You can't do that when you go to Florida. So where else can you go to get world-class roller coasters? Ohio. And that's the heart of it all, baby. And it's coming. So I'm going to go ahead and close this video for now. I'm going to come out with another video later down the road. There's a lot of exciting things I've done in my life. I've been involved in a couple of books. I've been involved in some big-time entertainers. I've been involved in, back whenever I was in high school, I did a thing for AIDS benefit victims, which was Ryan White story. I don't know if you might remember, if any of you all knew the Ryan White story from back in 1980s, late 80s and early 90s. And Elton John with the AIDS benefit, things for the awareness and things like that. Ryan White was a boy that was from Kokomo, Indiana, and he acquired AIDS through being a hemophiliac and having to receive blood, and he received some tainted blood at the hospital, and his mother had to infuse it in him, so she didn't know it was tainted, and the hospital didn't know, so, because back then they didn't check for AIDS in blood. And so people contracted AIDS virus, and unfortunately he was a young child, and they called him a faggot and homosexual and things like that, which was sad. And it's really so sad that he had to go through that torment. But now, today's society, we all know now that you don't do that. That's just and it's just not. It shouldn't be like that. And it's more accepting nowadays. And which I'm glad it is, because for a child like him, he didn't deserve that, and he went through pure hell. But I'm glad to see that things have changed. I'm glad to see that things have made a lot of difference in today's world, and and my heart goes out to him. I hated it when he died, and I went to his funeral, and it was the biggest funeral I've ever been in my life, and. It was just really sad. It was something that really broke my heart, and even thinking about it today, it really bothers me. But I was glad to be part of the funeral and everything. And his mother, Jeannie, I got to meet her, and his sister, Andrea, and the White family was beautiful people. And I'll tell you, it's just it was really nice to be able to have the chance to meet Ryan, and it was great to be able to be part of his life. And a letter that I had written to Ryan Wyatt, it is posted right now in a children's museum in Indianapolis of Indiana, and it's there now posted in his memorial and his legacy over there, and it's got my letter posted on the wall over there for other people to read and see, the visitors of the library and the art museum. Excuse me, it's a museum, and it's a Children's Hospital Museum is what it is of Indianapolis. And I am so gracious to be part of that. And that was some of the big things I've done in my life, and I'm so happy to have accomplished quite a bit that I have. So I'm going to leave this video here. It's 25 minutes, 26 minutes long. It's too long. I leave these long videos. I didn't want it to be this long, but I just want to throw a few little things out there. I'm going to make videos in the future sometime, and I'll probably go in a little bit more thorough. Maybe share some stories of Kings Island. Like I said, I used to go at 6 o'clock in the morning. I was a morning person. I go at 6 a.m. I work till 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I can tell you some stories about some critters that I see walking around that park in there and scared the crap out of you. But had a lot of fun. Worked there when Timberwolf had their concerts. Met all the performers: Beach Boys, Pointer Sisters, Tears for Fears. I mean, Taylor Dane, James Taylor. God, the list goes on and on and on. New Kids on the Block. I mean, there were so many of them. I met them all, and got to work back behind the stage, and that's how I got to meet them. But yeah, had a great time. Had a great time career at Kings Island. I really enjoyed it. Back then, when I worked there, it was owned by Kiko Entertainment, which was King's Entertainment Corporation, which also owned Channel 12 in Cincinnati, WKRC. And they also own Chiquita Banana, Carl Lindner, and United Dairy Farmers. There's all the same company. So, good people, had good times, and yeah. So, here we are, Kings Island 2020, baby. And this is it. This is going to be the big daddy of them all. This will be the biggest investment in Kings Island's history. Banshee was $24 million. Diamondback was $22 million. Mystic Timbers was $15 million. And here we go. This one's going to be probably at least $35 to $40 million investment. At least. Alright? Everybody take care. Any questions? Leave any comments below. Share the video. I appreciate it. And have a great day, guys. And we'll see you at the park.